Good morning. How everybody doing today? You already know I'm happy to see everybody. Enthused to get this live popping real quick before my kids wake up. Another tragedy, y'all. Another sad, sad tragedy. Before we get into it, you already know who it is. It's Frank Nitty. Two T's, like two titties. D-City, baby, straight gritty, no pity. Let's get it, man. Popos gets they self entangled in another controversy situation of taking a man's life. Yeah, they good for that, right? They good to end somebody's life. Yeah. I guess they think they are the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to these street laws. Yes, they do. This is what we've been facing all my existence. And I'm sure before my existence, my daddies, my grandmothers, my great-granddaddies, and my great-great-granddaddies, and great-great-grandmothers, all their existence, we've been facing this where the popos think that they are the judge, jury, and executioner right on the spot in our community, in our homes, in our front yards, in our neighborhoods, just everyday life. They get to pick and choose who lives and who goes. Huh? These motherfuckers don't even got a college degree, dog. Do y'all realize that? These cats don't even got a college degree. You spend more time in the military training to be a soldier than you do to be a cop. Do y'all realize that? Do you realize that? And here they is, young as fuck, or dumb, chewing on, dumb is just not no brains at all. And they get to make life decision calls on someone else's life, dog. That's retarded to me. That's retarded. You're not looking for somebody to police you. You're looking for somebody to control you, because that's retarded. They took this man's life for no reason at all. And everybody need to stop believing the popos when they say, well, I found the gun. He had a weapon on him. He had a weapon on him. Yeah, he had a weapon on him. We retrieved a weapon. Do y'all know how old and lame that story is? Do y'all know how old and lame that story is? He had a weapon on him. They've been saying that shit from the beginning of time, man. They've been saying that from the beginning of time. Well, he had a weapon on him. He had a weapon on him. We retrieved a weapon. You mean you put a weapon down there? That's what you mean. That means you put a weapon. Hey, good morning, FDS. That means you put a weapon down there. That's what that means, man. You ain't retrieved shit. Now think about it, everybody. Think about it, everybody. These people been living on these streets majority of their adult life. This man, I don't know him, but I'm sure I done seen him. He been living on them streets Majority of his adult life. And I'm not trying to say he didn't have a weapon. I'm not trying to say he didn't have a weapon. I'm trying to say he never pulled that bitch. That's what I'm saying. He never pulled it and pointed it at no one. That's what I'm saying. I know that for sure because people that live the street life, dog, they got weapons like everybody else. They know how to protect themselves. They know how to walk around cordial and act like it ain't, you know what I'm saying, act natural and be basically themselves without pulling out a weapon, without flashing a weapon, without threatening anybody with a weapon. This ain't something that goes on once in a while. This goes on every day, dog. So when a PoPo called himself taking someone's life because he's going to try to act like his mental issue was more crazy, was more crazier and more determined to harm the PoPo than the PoPo was trying to harm the hobo, the man that lost his life. All I know, man, people don't pull out guns like that. People don't pull out guns like that. That man ain't pull out no gun on nobody, dog. You know, if that man been walking the streets all this time, being a hobo, and ain't nobody else said nothing about him pulling out a gun on him, dog. Not nobody else. This motherfucker been walking this doggone Detroit area for the last, decade. Ain't nobody said, oh, he pulled out a weapon on me. And all of a sudden today, he pulls out a weapon on a PoPo. Do y'all believe that? Because, see, I don't believe simple shit. I don't believe simple shit. That's simple. If I know this man ain't pulled out a gun on nobody else, and he done had all type of situations, do y'all understand the confrontations that people have with one another dearly in a community, dog? Dearly in a community. And ain't nobody come up dead. And ain't nobody come up murked. Nobody got killed. Nobody was harmed. But soon as the PoPos have some type of incident or can't control a situation, and they choose to use force because their feelings done got hurt, you know, and they choose to use force, then all of a sudden now it's justified. All of a sudden now it's justified. He had a mental problem. Well, just riding up on the man, knowing the man was a hobo, you should have already known, right? He got a mental issue, dog. So you would what, y'all? You would approach him what? Different than you would approach someone else. You approach him more careful. You know? More with some skills. Some skills that I'm sure PoPos don't use every day. You know? You don't approach no man that's on the edge, all crazy, all motherfucking, you know, just all berserk. You don't make nobody that's on the edge jump over that bitch, right? You approach him with some common sense. And I'm sure this man was not approached with any common sense. I'm sure he was approached aggressively. I'm sure he was approached aggressively. I'm sure he didn't know who the PoPos the fuck was. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know who somebody was, if the PoPos, if they're not in uniform, then how the fuck do somebody supposed to know who the fuck you are, dog? If you don't have your badge and all your little whistles, then how the fuck we know who you are? And what gives you the right to take someone's life? This man wasn't shot one time. Now, come on, y'all. You shoot somebody one time, you just trying to what? Get them off of you and let them know that you can harm them. But when you shoot somebody several times, you got intentions of trying to murder or end their life. That's what happens when you shoot somebody several times. That's not no coincidence. That's not no, oh, my bad. No, that's your ass trying to end someone else's life because you think you're the judge, jury, and executioner. You think you got that damn title, dog. All your buddies in your politics tells you they got your back. People forgets about who they supposed to protect. They more worried about who they motherfucking rubbing elbows with. Y'all need to remember that, man. People forgets who they supposed to protect. These popos forget who they supposed to protect. They're more worried about who they rub elbows with. They trying to come up in the game. Come on now. I'm trying to tell y'all stop being so slow to this shit. That man didn't do a damn thing to nobody, man. Nobody. He walked around that damn hood all this time, ain't murdered nobody. Ain't shot nobody. Ain't been accused of pulling out a gun on nobody. Then all of a sudden, the popos have an incident with him on this man's grounds. Not on the popos' ground, because I'm sure the popos don't even live in this bitch. I'm sure they don't even live in this area. On this man's ground, in his neighborhood. And all of a sudden, he come up murked. He come up murked, accused of pulling out a weapon on a popo right in broad daylight where ain't nobody else seen the shit. Did y'all get it? Huh? Right in broad daylight where ain't nobody else was an eyewitness. This is the ignorance that we deal with every single fucking day, man. And I'm telling you, dawg, the popos ain't no damn good. Anybody can put on a cape and come play Superman. That don't mean they for your ass. That don't mean they for your people. Stop getting caught up in this don't stop getting caught up in this what's they call that mother? Oh man. Bennett, what's that? Bennett McArnold? Don't get caught up in that shit, man. These niggas are liars. They play to be one thing and they live to do another. All right? They play to be one thing, they live to do another, dog. You can't trust the popos. You can't trust them, man. They're not here to save nobody's life. They're not here to save nobody's life, man. Anybody can motherfucking throw on a cape, dog, give somebody some doggone, you can give somebody some tools and they gonna play like they can help you. They ain't here to save nobody's life. You talking about communities that's been stunted from growth, from anything prosperous because of popos. Because of popos. Now that man lived every day, like I said, dog, didn't harm nobody. He got the right to protect himself as well. And all of a sudden, he comes in contact with a fake ass popo, and all of a sudden he gotta go. All of a sudden he gotta go. And for all you racist cats, which I know ain't none on our channel right now, but for all the ones that may catch this on replay or maybe sitting in the bushes, the man was white. Huh? Do that better fit your mood? He was a white man. All right? He was a white man. I don't know which color the popos was, but it really don't make a difference. I can tell you more. More likely, he was a black cop. More likely. They like pulling the trigger faster, dog. Even though I'm not trying to say the white cops won't. I'm just letting you know. The black cops seem to be a lot trigger happy when it come to D City, dog, than anybody else. But you can't trust none of them. That's real talk, man. I know when I was surrounded by them, when I was being evicted, I felt like I was back in the 60s. When I was surrounded by them, when I was being evicted, I felt like I was back in the 60s. I felt like everything was going to go wrong and ain't nobody was going to be able to help me do anything about it. And I was going to just, you know, lose everything, my kids, and I couldn't chance that, man. I had to get them out of that situation as fast as I can. Rest in peace to the man that lost his life. I don't know you, dog, but I know that you was a human being just like anybody else that deserves to live, to enjoy life, to enjoy the freedom of this country, no matter if you was rich or poor. Nobody got the right to take someone else's life. I don't give a fuck you wear a badge. I don't give a fuck you motherfuckers serve time in the military. I don't give a fuck your ancestors. Your ancestors was the first motherfuckers that came to this damn planet. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are, man. Everybody got a right to be happy, to enjoy this freedom that we have in this country, and not to be harassed, not to be attacked, not to be belittled, not to be belittled. I'm sure that hobo still had pride. I'm sure that man that was a hobo still had pride. I'm sure his heart still pumped like everybody else. I'm sure he bled like everybody else. I'm sure motherfucker he motherfucker woke up with good thoughts like anyone else. In that day running into the popos, he had to lose his life, man. He had to lose his life. The most this I mean, on a totem pole, if you weighed him on a scale, I'm sure he the most unlikely man that anybody would be worried about. Huh? I'm sure he the most unlikely man that anybody would be worried about, because he always what, y'all? He's always asking, begging, humble, thirsty, you know, wanting work or whatever. But the fact, what I'm trying to say is, he got his hands out, right? He got his hands out. So why would he be trying to intimidate or scare anybody off when he got his hands out, asking people for help every single day, dog? And here today, here yesterday anyway, the popos decide that he didn't deserve his life no more. The popos decide he wasn't fit for civilization and took this man's life away. Not thinking that he got a family, not thinking that he got a loved one, not thinking that he got someone that cares about him. And even though he may not seem as though he got anyone, is someone out there that cares about him, dog. There's somebody out there that cared about him. And that popo took that from that man. He took that from the family. A lawsuit don't bring back nobody. Money don't bring back nobody. Money requires time. See, money requires time. You gotta go put time in to get that money. No matter if you got a lawsuit on somebody or whatever, working, you gotta go put that time in to get that money. So when you wanna focus your time on somebody, remember, time is valuable. Huh? Time is valuable. It's more valuable than money. All right? Time is more valuable than money. So when you doing something, know that it's going to be something that you want to be done, something you want. Though if it elevates you or just makes you smile, something that you want though, and not just something just to please the crowd or just to please a certain group. Do something that's going to make you feel whole and make you feel complete. And try not to take someone's life from being different than yourself, man. All right? Try not to take someone else's life for being different than yourself. Because that ain't right. That just ain't fucking right. And as a person with mental issues, I know how the popos approach me. This is why I don't want to drive, y'all. Y'all really want to know why I don't want to drive? Because every time I get behind that wheel, just because I got a mental issue, and so when they run my plates, that comes up. That red light come up that I got a mental issue. So instead of them approaching me kind, sweet, or just, you know what I'm saying, just calmly, just being calm, they approach me aggressively. They got their guns out. They got their guns pointed at me and my kids. They motherfucking scaring the hell out of us, man. They just rude to us. They trying to belittle me in front of my women's. I don't need that shit in my life. And that's what you call, if that's what you call a public servant, then you can keep that shit, dog. You can keep that. That ain't no public servant. That's somebody trying to bully that's somebody trying to bully another man because of the occupation that he have. That's somebody trying to bully another man because of the occupation he have. That have nothing to do with being a public servant. I refuse to be traumatized or have my kids to be traumatized just because the popos is too damn scared to do their job in a professional manner. They too damn scary, man. They need a scary meter on these motherfuckers because they too damn scary. They cowards. Just because somebody can comprehend, read, and write don't mean they brave, dog. Y'all need to quit that shit. Just because somebody can read, write, do y'all realize y'all hiring the most cowardly motherfuckers that ever went to school? Most popos are cowards. Either they cowards or ass kissers. One or the other, man. So do y'all realize what you hiring? Do you realize who you following? These wasn't the top dogs in the school. These wasn't the cats that had their own damn identity and wasn't looking for the crowd to have their back. These weren't them type of cats. These was the ass kissers. These was the motherfucking popular ones that always degraded anyone else just to stay on top. These who these popos are. Know who the fuck you fucking with, dog. You're not fucking with nobody, man, with no good intentions. These motherfuckers out here buying coochie like anybody else. They buying coochie more than anybody else. They committing crimes faster than the criminals, or whoever the criminal's supposed to be. Because I really feel as though when they say criminal, they talking about the poor communities. When they say criminals, they talking about blacks. When they say criminals, they talking about the minorities. Because I don't see no one else getting this American dream as a whole. I don't see nobody else getting this American dream as a whole, but the so-called people that supposed to protect us and supposed to be some type of public official that's supposed to be for good for the people. And it only seems like they good for themselves. Only seem like they good for themselves. Because they know where in hell we should have all this killing out here. And most of the killing is coming from the popos. Most of the killing is coming from the popos. Fucking cowards. They're the fucking disgrace, man. They're a disgrace to anybody that put on that uniform and call themselves doing anything good for anybody else. But that's they hookup. They hookup is they all about the boys in blue. Yeah, they hookup is that's they hookup. They all about the boys in blue. They ain't about protecting you. They about protecting them. The boys in blue. Rest in peace to the man. Rest in peace to that man. My condolence to his family. Another tragedy in the community. I don't care if it was a hobo. I don't care if it was a doggone dog. I don't care if it was motherfucking I don't care if it was somebody on their last breath. No one got the right to take someone else's life. No one got the right to take someone else's life. I don't give a fuck who you supposed to be. Ain't no one got the right to take someone else's life. Why you over here flashing your badge and acting like you the shit, man? Remember, dog, what goes around comes around. And everybody stop looking for somebody to save their ass when ain't nobody saving ours, man. All right? Everybody stop looking for somebody to save somebody's ass when ain't nobody saving ours. It's a tragedy, man, every day, man, when I wake up and all I see is the popos murdering somebody else. All I hear is the popos done took someone else's life. All I heard was the popos went out in the streets and called themselves being the judge, jury, and executioner. And someone else got to lose their life for this shit. Just for somebody else to go home with a hard on. Huh? Just for somebody else to go home with a hard on. Because that's what it's all about, y'all. That's what y'all women's don't understand. Men's live by their cockiness. Men's live by their ego. So one man got to go home with a limp dick, and the other man got to go home with his big-ass ego. That's how men's live. I don't give a fuck what uniform they got on. I don't give a fuck how they motherfucking what they call themselves doing out here, what they perceive themselves to be. Everybody, every man got balls, and y'all already know what else, dog. And that tells me right there, being a man, he lives by his ego. He lives by his ego. And his whole world is to knock somebody else down or to make them feel small or to make himself feel bigger so he can go home with some gigantic balls and you can go home with some deflated balls. Maybe that hobo didn't want to go back to his box or to his tent or to his bando or to wherever he was living, dog, and have small ass tiny nuts that day. Maybe he felt like standing up being a man. Maybe he felt like voicing his opinion. Do that mean his life supposed to have been taken? Do that mean his life supposed to have been taken? Because the popos do it every fucking day. Act like they judge,